Hello, everyone. Victor Martin Reviews from the West. It's 2021. What the hell? What's going on, guys? 2021.
I'm not dead yet.
I left the.
If you really want to know what's going on,
Oh god.
I bought some movies.
Oh.
Same.
Which ones?
I bought some movies from Goodwill for real cheap.
Sick.
We found Bam.
Blazing
Nice.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Still haven't seen
Classic.
that.
See it, man. You gotta see it.
And this was actually came with two movies in one.
Oh.
I finally have this.
Oh,
Sweet.
nice.
I found that, but it actually came with Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumberer in like. So I was like, sure.
Right.
And then I have this on VHS, but now I got it on DVD. So now I can watch it much more freely than I would.
Was that Rugrats in Paris?
No, it's the first one.
Okay.
I bought a couple movies fairly recently. I bought Big Trouble in Little China like a week or so ago. Still haven't watched it yet, but I've been kind of on a roll with other movies lately. I've just been watching a lot of 80s post-apocalypse and modern direct-to-video disaster movies lately. I've just been watching a lot of trash. I've just been swimming in garbage.
Yeah, sounds like
but
it.
I'm loving
80s films? Yeah, dude.
loving
Right.
most every minute of it.
80s films count me out.
No. They're tons of fun. You gotta do it.
I've been.
Maybe-
I got a 4K Blu-ray player, so I got a handful of 4K movies. I got 2001, which is phenomenal on on
gotta see
4K. I got 2049, all-time favorite. I got Apocalypse Now, which I still haven't seen yet. That's the one that
yeah.
I'm waiting on.
Which
nice.
edition is it? Which cut was it?
I have no idea. Whatever the big box set one, final edition, whatever.
The final cut?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because there's now 3 cuts of that movie.
Well,
now.
it came with 6 discs, so I think it might have all of them.
Jeez.
It might
Yeah,
be all
dude,
of them. then.
it's like fucking this thick. It's tight.
Well, either way, that's one of my favorite movies. That's a great.
I hear
movie
it's
there.
really good. I got other than that, I've just been in VR. Like my whole life has been virtual the past 2 or 3 weeks. So much that I've like put money into like getting silicone covers so that my sweat doesn't soak into the foam.
Oh,
It's
that's
really
smart.
it's
Putting in investments
it's
now.
really fucking gross, honestly. But yeah,
Nice.
I've been living my Ready Player One life, looking into haptic feedback suits that will probably fit
Yeah.
like right here on my body, so it'll be great.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've been watching Twin Peaks. That's the only thing I've watched this year besides Possessor, so that's nice.
Oh,
The show?
yeah.
Twin Peaks, the show? Yeah, the show.
Nice.
I'm showing to Stephanie. She's never seen it before, so getting her on that train.
Good time to restart
Funny.
the show.
Dude, yeah.
It takes
Funny,
place in
I-
Washington, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Cool.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I would have figured she would have seen that.
I mean, she's heard of it, but she's just never seen an episode until now. So it's
Cool,
it's
man.
good to revisit it. Good times.
Sweet.
I've
Sweet,
been
man.
need to
binge
finish it.
watching. I've been binge watching
Yes,
Game
you
of
do.
Thrones.
I'm about to.
Oh wow.
Did you
Dude,
Game of
you're-
Thrones?
Yeah, I'm about to. I've only seen like the first season, and that was it.
All right. Yeah, I think I started like a little after Christmas, and I'm already 5 seasons in. So I've been
how it
going hard.
Look at Ryan catching up with the world.
I know. Look at me. I swore to never watch Game of Thrones. I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. And now I'm like, every night, Josie and I are like, we got to watch at least 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. Well,
I still
I think
haven't
one
watched
day
an
I'll visit
episode.
it.
it's good. I really like it.
I think
It's
I
really-
watched like 2 minutes of the first episode like 20 years ago, and that was
Yeah.
it. So
It's really intense.
I can't talk.
Yeah.
What an exaggeration.
Feels like it.
I don't know. And I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 2 lately. That game, oh man, so fun and so funny in that order.
Is this your first time playing it?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it at high school sleepovers, but I never sat down to play a whole bunch of it. And I just picked it up for cheap because I got back on a Borderlands craze, and I'm loving it. It's pretty much an improvement in most every way. Gameplay's tighter, the dialogue is funnier, there's an actual story, and
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. It's just great. I pick up and play it. It's one of those.
Do you have an Xbox
Very
One?
enjoyable.
Are you going to pick up Borderlands 3?
I might just now because
I've seen
From-
Ryan playing a shit ton of Borderlands 3.
yeah,
Dude, I went through that
Yeah,
fast. That was so much
Yeah.
fun.
it seemed it. Lindsay's kind of the grandmaster
Yeah.
knowledge of Borderlands.
Of Borderlands. Her cosplay
Yeah.
for Borderlands shit is so cool.
Incredible.
It's
The
always
cell
fun.
the cell shading on like I don't know how the fuck she gets
It's impressive.
cell shading on clothes. Like what the fuck? Like, that's
It's
so
so
impressive.
It's
I can only
crazy.
imagine it being arduous alone, capturing the dimples and the wrinkles and the skin and whatnot.
I'll tell you, once I finish watching Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
I can use this and not feel like an
Oh.
imposter anymore.
Oh, the Starks.
Ah.
The Starks of Winterfell.
Wintervale.
Yeah, I've been using it for years for like
Winterfell.
scripts, and now I'm like,
Winter-
I almost know why it's important, and I can use it with meaning.
It is uncorruptible.
So Ryan was the man to choose the first film for 2021, and
Than me.
yeah, dude, you wanna introduce that film?
We watched Possessor. I got it for Christmas, and I watched it like a few days after getting it for Christmas, and dudes, that was a night. Whoa.
I was.
I'm very ready to talk
I for
about
one
it.
was. I for one was quite excited for the day when I could talk to you about it because I had covered this movie for the website Drinking the Movies a few months ago. I got a screener copy. I got to see it before a lot of people. It was kind of exciting. It was my first ever screener copy. And I wrote them up a review. It's available on their site. You go look it up. It's drinkingthemovies.com. Shout out to those two fellas for bringing me on board. That was my first review, and they've been real kind to me. I'm steadily growing a catalog on there.
Nice, dude.
But yeah, I knew this movie was right up your alley immediately, Ryan. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
could not wait for you to get your eyes on it.
Was it because it was violent or because it has the name Cronenberg in it?
Yes.
Exactly.
Violence and baby Cronenberg.
So I have actually ready for this. You guys are probably expecting it from me at this point.
Oh boy! Here
Oh
we go.
God, here we go.
What?
I've never seen a
What?
Cronenberg a senior movie, so this is my first Cronenberg family movie. So
Hold on.
Start-
Let me
Start
let
you
me-
with
let me
Cronenberg
answer that
Millennial
real-
Edition. Then we'll
Yeah.
move you back to the other one.
all right, spit
Grandpappy.
There you go.
What?
I know, but yeah, it was this was if his dad's movies or anything like this, then they're interesting for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't
One
want
way to put it.
I want to talk more. I want to talk more thoroughly about it before I say anything else. So I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything else about it.
Well, let me just sum it up for the audience watching here. For those who haven't seen Possessor yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, you probably should. You probably should go and watch this movie. Okay, so the plot of Possessor. Tazia Voss is an agent who specializes in possessing the bodies of people for high-profile assassinations. Her latest assignment sees her taking over the body of Colin Tate, son-in-law to a powerful data miner. As she takes him over, she must hold control on him to complete the mission or risk destruction to her mind.
He's not the son-in-law yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well.
not yet. Whew, God damn, Nick, can't get anything right.
the one time I mess up. This is what I get.
Oh jeez.
So I mean, we start the podcast over, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Start
Oh,
it over. Start
fuck,
it over.
brilliant. Okay. Let me just correct that. Tasia Voss is an agent
No,
who
no, 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 no,
specializes
no,
in
no, no,
possessing
no.
of
It's okay.
bodies
No,
of
it's
people.
okay. It's okay. we don't.
Colin Tate, soon to be son-in-law to a
Ah,
powerful.
there we
There we
go.
go.
There we go.
There we go.
Take note,
As she
audience.
takes him over, she must hold control on him to complete the mission or risk destruction to her mind.
I've clicked away from the video
Just like
by
that.
now. Let's talk about it.
What video?
So Ryan, you clearly like this movie. Maybe liking is an understatement. Is that so?
I really like it. This is a great movie. I thought it's definitely for me. It's up my alley in terms of just like atmosphere and tone. It's different. I love it.
It is. It was a lot more cold than I was expecting. I gotta say I wasn't like a huge fan of it, but I did like the tone quite a bit.
Yeah.
I felt similar after watching this as I did Scanners, where I was like, the concept
Interesting.
is wicked and I love it. It's such a cool concept, but the execution I wasn't totally on board with. I love the idea of,
Okay.
taking over someone's body, using them as like a surrogate almost, and watching what's the lead character's name?
Voss.
Voss.
Something
It
boss.
was really cool watching her try to transition to this new body and like learn his like behavior, his speech pattern, and then like basically losing her identity through him. And like there's like just some really cool ideas, and it's like some really cool art house visuals as well. It's a really interesting movie, really interesting choice.
Yeah, in terms of art house visuals, 100% of the movie is practical. All of it.
I was noticing that. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I really love
Right down
that
to the
aspect,
colored
because that makes
visuals.
it feel.
Practical.
Probably a lot of
Nice.
like prisms and stuff like that, huh? Like
Yeah.
what
Mm-hmm.
do you call those?
Prism.
Filters and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Prisms. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was
Gels,
really
prisms,
digging that
all
aspect.
sorts.
I love the special effects in this movie. This is about. Well, there's been movies that have attempted either the all or mostly practical effects approach, and either they couldn't quite nail it right, or they couldn't help but need CGI or post work to touch up and fix certain things. This totally gets it down on the day. The effects look so great and gives it an even more tangible throwback feel. And yeah, I also like the concepts in this movie. Again, it does bring to mind this is Brandon Cronenberg, the son of David Cronenberg. It does bring to mind his father's movies like Scanners or Videodrome. Very cold, very stoic, and very dark approaches to these kind of out there sci-fi concepts. It's really cool. It nails it. I think it nails it pretty well. I think that coldness is intentional for sure,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because your body hopping, body jacking, and it's supposed to feel like these are just walking meat sacks that you're using to get a job done. Not really much remorse for who you're doing it for. They are bad guys, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. I really feel like he captures and embodies like his dad's point of views and like style in terms of it being like psychological sci-fi, and it's very grounded rather than like spacey, almost like sci-fantasy. It's very grounded, but he does put his own spin on it, and I'm still trying to like see like how it's tough to see right now because it's like first film. It can't really judge like where his voice is at, but like for a first film, this is like stupid powerful in terms of how articulate it is, and the type of voice it has is crazy. It's just like his dad. It's nuts. I was so satisfied with that.
I'm curious. He has another film, Antiviral. Have you guys seen that one?
yeah.
I don't know if
I
that one's
saw-
any good, but
No.
I saw
Just
part
heard
of
of
it. I saw part of it. I couldn't quite get into it. It's also another strange concept, but I don't think it was nailed down quite as good as how Possessor came out. But I'll have to watch it again.
But yeah, like you're saying, Ryan, it's very grounded in a way because like like a lot of the sci-fi concepts don't seem too far out, and that's what I really like about it. It's got like a really lo-fi indie feel, especially when it comes to like the props, like that headgear they wear, or just like there's that one scene where
So
he's
wild.
where he has to go to his job in that factory, and they're wearing
He's
those
got
goggles,
the VR.
which I didn't understand the point
was
of
so
that
cool.
program. Was it some like AI like learning program, like to like see what?
Yeah.
Well, they're
each-
data miners. I reckon
Oh.
they had a concept to look out for in these VR headsets.
Okay, they're mining data for the drapes and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that, I see.
drapes.
But like, yeah, I misspoke. It wasn't scanners that same feeling. It was Videodrome. Was
Yeah.
a similar feeling I got after watching that.
Still, I still got the scanners.
In
feel
what
from
way?
this.
Sure. Where in the way that like the concept was really cool, but like the way it was told, I wasn't totally 100% with. Which is, and it's I was
sure.
trying to think
Totally
of
get
how to
that.
discuss this film like all day. I was like, I don't know how to word it. It's just like this feeling I have.
Yeah.
I can't articulate it, unfortunately.
Chase, what are those thoughts, man?
So specifically with the VR thing, like I said, I've been really into VR at the moment. But it was funny watching that because I've been watching all my like a lot of movies in my VR, and it was funny watching that scene in VR in a movie theater because like you get
In a VR movie theater.
in a VR movie theater you get to a certain point
It's
like
meta.
right. You get to a certain point in your viewing that you start to forget that you're in VR. The only thing that reminds you of VR is the constant like pressure on your face and like the little bit of tinge in your eye. But I found myself like I was sitting and I was watching this. I was like, oh, that's so funny, and I went to pull my phone out to like type something. And I'm like, why the fuck can't I see my phone? And then I'm like, oh shit, that's right, I'm in VR. And so, but
That's so funny.
but it was really cool. It was like it gave me the same feeling as going to a movie theater. Like the feeling of being disconnected and not having any distractions or anything like that is such a nice way to watch a movie. And like even I put nice noise canceling headphones on, and I was just in this movie, and it was literally like I was in a movie theater, and it was really cool.
That's so cool.
We need
So aside-
Josie to take a picture of you when you're in your VR movie. I gotta see it.
I sit in this chair, dude. I sit in this chair, and I'm just like, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I
So
love
aside from where's my hands, it's pretty neat.
It is. It's the video for. I watched this on Amazon, on Prime streaming, and they completely botched their compression.
Oh, dude.
So the compressioning was terrible. Like, yeah, like the blacks, there was like, I could see blocks of different color, and that was, yeah,
Streaming's just shit.
it was bad.
worst.
It didn't take
me-
anything out of the movie for me because I was able to recognize. I'm like, okay, this is. There's a couple times like in the early scenes, like post the first encounter, it's pretty dark, and so I was like constantly like looking at my screen because I'll sit there and then it displays on like my monitors up here too, and then I was checking. I'm like, oh shit, it's not my VR, it's actually just the streaming, which is terrible.
That's so
But
frustrating.
God,
it was a little
Yeah.
frustrating. But no, my experience was great. I was a little weary of it at first because I'm very sensitive to like sound effects, and I'm very very like I'm really able to notice them if they're there, if they're not there. And there was a lack of sound effects when Holly was first stabbing the main guy. There was like no sound, and that was like weird. I was like, okay, that doesn't feel right. And then also the early camera work I was not a fan of.
Same.
I think like during that dialogue scene with her with Voss, and I don't remember what the other character's
Girder.
name was. Girder. They were in the threes, but they weren't lined up with the lines. They were like in the block of the third. And that was just, for me, that's just like the tiniest thing. I'm like, all you gotta do is do this. Like, that's all you gotta do. It's like, it's right here. All you gotta do is like,
It's in
move
that
the camera over
first
just a little
scene
bit.
in that dark room, correct? The first one in
Yeah.
the dark room where it's the shot's like
Exactly.
squared off. I know exactly because I felt the exact same way.
And then
liked it, though.
also when they're talking about like when we first see oh Jesus, what's the I've got it up right here with the main guy.
Tate?
Colin Tate. When he's on the bus, it's also the same thing. I'm like, all you gotta do is scoot over just like a tad, and so it's like I'm just like
Cinematographers be
I know.
like,
I'm like in my head, I'm like, I want to crop in and just like just a little bit.
I'll edit the movie for you guys.
I didn't mind it too much. Camera work is really solid in this movie.
Other than that first like 15 minutes, the camera work is beautiful, especially on all the like the weird like fucking in camera effects they're doing. That is
man, yeah,
fantastic.
it's not just the practical effects that are cool, but they use it in conjunction with lighting and the editing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's all these crazy lens flares in between all the edits to show the mental perspective of these two fighting for control of the body.
Yeah.
They do these lens flare effects. I'm convinced they're practical lens flares, just shining a light on the edge of the lens instead
probably.
of doing it in post. Cause
They are
it reminded me-
practical in the
yep.
behind the scenes. There's footage that all the like all the like really interesting and like colorful flashes of light. It's all like a gel with a light hit at the proper angle to like disrupt the lens and stuff. All
That's
of it.
awesome.
It's
Nice.
so
I was gonna say it's got to be either that or like prisms, like shining lights on a prism or something. I'm sure they use that as well. But that filter it's super cool, and it's weird because they're obviously there's some post processing work going on, like whether it just be like simple like masking or something like that. But they're obviously using like a mask to crop out the filter to make it, or not to crop out like the lens flare to like make it adjust correctly. But other than that, like the only thing that I saw that I'm like, okay, that's probably CG is at the very end with the blood. But even that, I was like, oh, I don't think it is. It is.
Don't say that, man. I want to think this
You
is
ruined
all
the movie.
practical.
Yeah, sorry. Fuck me. Sorry, guys. I'll leave.
Well, that's what's funny. I felt the same way. I was like, the blood at the end, really.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
It
just
moves
moving
to-
in for my brain, not a
Yeah.
natural way.
Which
and then they're
blood?
like all practical, and they show it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Which blood?
It's
the blood,
when,
the blood when they come together at the very end.
creates like a heart almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, a heart?
It looks like a
That
heart.
was-
It looked like a heart until you
I didn't see a heart.
saw
I
the
just saw
bottom,
blood touching.
Or butterfly wings or something.
or a pair of big old
Come
ball
on.
sack.
It's not
More
enough the
likely
blood has,
that's
it's
the-
not,
what
it's
they
not
were
enough the
going for.
blood touches and it symbolizes the mother and son being together or whatever. It's
I
gotta
don't
be a
think-
heart. It's gotta be a butterfly.
No, or a ball sack.
Brandon Cronenberg is all about that.
Yeah, Cronenberg. If anything I know about the Cronenbergs, it's they are obsessed
They're a
with
little
nut
freaky.
sacks. Yeah, they are really into their ball sacks.
Yeah. Do you ever see Shivers or Rabid?
No,
Good lord.
I bet there's
Got an
nuts in
idea.
it.
They're wild.
Got an idea.
No, they like their sexual undertones as well as their graphic violence.
Yeah.
Me too.
Let's get it out right here, man.
Don't do it. No. Whoa.
We're
All right, there was
done
a.
for.
Whoa.
Speaking of which, there was an edit in this movie. It's like they want to surprise you with just man dong. It's just it's like bam, there it is, center frame.
Yeah, you want to go in depth
Ah.
about it?
Wait,
No.
there's a dick in this?
Yeah, right.
Is there?
Yeah.
It's
When he's
uncut,
dead-
dude.
Yeah.
When he's
Is
data
the dick
mining.
uncut? Or is it the video's uncut?
Both. It's
No, when he's
double
data
meaning.
mining. When he's data mining, looking for curtains, he cuts to a camera feed of a couple getting it on.
Oh, okay. So on Amazon, it was
I
not
mean,
a
there's
dong.
another
it was an
one
ass.
too. There's more than just that.
I mean, there's
There's
the
more
one.
on-
There was
Uncut.
that one.
There's
Well,
the one
in particular.
where he's like where she first gets in his body and is like starting to like look at his dick. Which honestly,
yeah.
I'd do the same thing probably. You're in a new
I know, it's
person's
like,
body.
what
You're
is
like,
in
let
the
me
way
see,
down
you know.
here?
I gotta make sure.
I,
no,
You
I know
gotta
what
see
I'm
what,
packing.
you gotta see what you're working with. Exactly. You know.
You know what? Actually, when Voss gets into Tate's body, the process of getting in there and the first bit when she wakes up in the body, a couple of my favorite parts in the movie. For one, the rapid fire montage and the practical
Yeah.
effects, how she transfers consciousnesses,
Consciousness.
and then you have
There you
the
go.
Nice
you have the really
symbolism.
good long take where she comes out of bed as Tate and he looks out at the skyline and everything.
Yeah.
That was just very well done.
Was that during the first like intimate scene between him and his girlfriend?
it was.
Is that
It
the
was
transition?
before. It was before.
Okay, okay.
No,
I
it's when
thought.
she
Okay,
when she got into the body for the first time.
right.
Yeah.
right.
And that's when she went out in the mirror and was like looking at her dick and stuff. His dick.
Yeah.
Their
His
dick.
her dick.
Their
Is this
dick.
a
We could say there.
There. Yeah.
is this a transgender commentary?
Ah, there it
know
is,
there's
ladies
some-
and
there's some
gentlemen.
gender stuff
Nick
in there.
McCann.
I mean, it's Cronenberg, and he was proud of that. So
You know, well, this
Probably.
is funny because normally I'd have to warm up to this movie after a couple views, or actually, these types of movies it'd be hard for me to judge whether I'll watch them again or not. But this one, I was hooked right away. I was looking for themes. I was just going over in my head all the time. I was hooked. This was my lighthouse. This was my witch. This was
That's
my
really interesting.
whatever. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I was a little bored at the beginning, just like a little bit, like just a little bit. I was like, it was the feeling was like very, especially with the sound effects and the fucking the camera work. I'm like, oh god, this movie is just I'm not gonna be in this movie at all. And then as soon as I saw like the face melting like shift, I was like, oh shit, this is kind of sweet.
Right.
I like sat
That-
up a little bit. I was like, oh my god, what is going on?
same.
That face melting made me so happy.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It's very Raiders. Actually, so let's go back to that opening
Reminded
scene
me of
where
fucking
Holly
Willy
stabs
Wonka,
the
dude.
lawyer. Okay. No, that first scene where Holly stabs the lawyer. Actually, the acting in this movie is incredible.
was very
Every
good.
performance is
Yeah.
wonderful. And it all starts with Holly. For one, she puts the emotional manipulator device
It's
in
like
her
a
head.
calibrator, some sort of
Yeah, calibration
emotional
device.
calibrator.
And she starts adjusting her emotions, and she's going through all these emotions, and then back to blank face in the one shot. That's incredible. And then when she pulls the pistol out of her purse and she holds it in front of her mouth, you could see the terror of the actual Holly on her as she tries to get the gun away from her. It's shaking in her hand. It's just so good. I was blown away. I was blown away by acting.
I said I don't know if you guys remember what I said in the group chat when I found out that Sean Bean was in this movie. But my man lives, so
Somehow.
this shit gets
Does he?
zero
Does he
stars.
Finally.
This
Put
shit
like-
gets
yeah.
0 stars.
I always took it.
Yeah,
I don't
dude.
know.
That is the best plot twist I've seen in a minute. Like a meta plot twist. I've not seen that done
Yeah.
like that.
No,
This
that
guy
was
dies,
interesting.
okay? Brutally murdered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just kidding.
He's in
Yeah.
critical care. He might be all right.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'll never be able to
That-
speak again. But yeah,
Well, that's kind of a shame. I thought he actually died, and that scene where she looks at him, I thought that was just a weird thingamabob.
No, it's set over the
the news.
I know it did, but I still,
Yeah.
in my head, I was thinking,
Fake
okay, they
news.
said that in the
Fucking
news,
fake news.
but
He'll die
He
the
said-
next day.
no, I took it as they said on the news, and then over the course of the movie, he just dies because he couldn't pull through.
That makes sense. I can see that.
But no, they do show him with an eye patch in a wheelchair, so yeah,
I
don't know,
do-
I don't know what I was thinking.
I do like the shots where it's like when Voss and Tate are like after like so the end of the second act essentially ends with Colin getting consciousness or semi-consciousness. They're battling for it.
Becoming
Um,
aware.
Yeah. And when it would cut back to Voss and she's wearing the same clothes as him in like the exact same spot, is so simple, but it is so cool and so effective.
Yeah. The creepiest scene in the movie, I think, for me is, okay, so there's a plant agent later on that meets up with Tate, and
Fucking
he's got
Eddie.
Eddie's got Tate hooked up to the machine, and it's all these match cuts between the subconscious and the reality.
Dude, it's so cool.
Oh, the red light, Tate just slowly walking in from the doorway, and Voss is just laying up there. Andrea Riceborough, her and her disturbing genre movie picks. Please, keep it going.
I'm sorry. Fucking Christopher Abbott stole this movie, dude.
God,
He's great.
Man,
He was fantastic.
I was convinced he was being possessed. He was that good.
I was convinced that this was Kit Harington when I first saw it. I was like, damn, they got Kit Harington and Sean Bean in this. They're gonna bring everyone from Game of Thrones back into it too, and it turns out that it's just a Cronenberg Game of Thrones movie.
Yeah.
And then he also looks like Stephen Strait, if you guys know who that is. It was Stephen Strait. He was in Sky High. Remember Sky High?
Vaguely, yeah.
It's movies about fascism, but you know. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
So is America. So what did you guys think of the story, like, as a whole?
Yeah.
This is it's my kind of art house genre movie. It's clear to understand. It doesn't go overboard with themes or hidden metaphors. It doesn't beat you over the head with them. I like it switches it up in the second act. Like, the immediate plot gets seemingly over with, but then you have this new curveball with Tate trying to take control of his consciousness, and then it turns into a whole nother level of suspense. So yeah, I like the story in this movie.
I really did like the suspense but like, it turned into like almost a mystery where you know what's going on, where it's like, oh, did I kill these people? I probably did. I should leave. And there's this like, who's actually in control right now that I had going the whole movie for me. And I'm like, not sure who would make that decision, but it was intense for me the whole way through. I thought it was really, really interesting. Definitely, like, this is just nitpicking for me. It's definitely, in my opinion, like, first film, but it feels surprisingly polished for being a first film when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, I understand where you're like, okay, it is a first film, but it definitely doesn't feel like a first film to me. Like, this is stupid, and they're not comparable movies at all, but I was thinking of when I see like a first time director or something like that, my immediate thought is to compare it to mid-90s, and because that was Jonah Hill's directorial debut, and mid-90s wasn't great, but it also wasn't bad, and it's a very medium spot to have your directorial debut. And so my brain always goes back to, okay, mid-90s was decent, but that's kind of where the bar is for me. Anything below, I'm like, okay, well, Jonah Hill made a better movie. But this is leaps and bounds above the type of quality you'd see from a first time director. This is definitely, especially nowadays, I think we see like young directors, or I mean, he's still pretty young. I think he's not even in his 30s yet. Oh no, he's not. He's fucking 40 years old. Jesus. With the thing with like young directors, especially here, is that they want to do these really ambitious like films, like really like, oh, I'm gonna make it visually complicated is the best way I think I can say it, for the sake of it being complicated. But I feel like this complication and weirdness is done in a way that is necessary and proper, and it feels right. It doesn't.
He doesn't bite off more than he can chew.
Yeah, it's very, and that's impressive because there's a lot of weird, just abstract shit in this going on that a lot of other like seasoned directors would get wrong.
Well, I was just about to say, did you guys think like that was like really insane visuals like was in service? Like, do you think it felt like kind of like a force? Like, I don't know where to go with it, so I'm just gonna like have like a collage of like weird images, or did it feel like very much a right choice?
I think it was right, because if there's one thing first-time filmmakers will know is that if you can't if it can't show it properly, then you can save it in the edit, hopefully. And what that means is sometimes they'll do like a lot of montage cutting, and they'll chop some scenes up. Otherwise, you could tell like scenes aren't supposed to be presented that way, but they have to edit around some mistake they made on set. And it's a bit cliche when you see it not done so well, but I think it was done really well. It adds so much to the growing intensity of the suspense, and it really puts you in the scenario that this possession is no joke. This is some mean stuff they're doing here. Right. It's a very torturous process. So yeah, it gets it across very well through that method.
I'd probably agree.
The visuals weren't like over the top and like not necessary. I felt like there's a reason for them. Like, it feels visceral, and they portrayed that in the writing that like this is not a fun experience to go through. And I feel like like the red and the I don't even know what you'd call it, like the gore of like two fusing bodies or faces and then ripping apart, and like the ripping the face off, and there's a digital face in the head. Like, I feel like it's necessary, but it's more like it services the story in the sense that like this is a like out there process and it matches visually, but it's also like I feel like that's kind of where he's stylizing it, and that's like his signature almost for the movie. And then you keep pointing it out, I'll clarify it. This is definitely not his first movie, but I think Antiviral, wasn't that just a smaller festival film? It wasn't like his big debut in a sense, because I know he has a ton of smaller
it was
films
a
before
small
that, too.
movie.
Like
I had never
2009
heard of it. I found it one day on Hulu. Yeah.
Just stumble across it. Oh, it's another Cronenberg.
Well, no, my mom was looking through movies. She told me like, "Oh, this one's Brandon Cronenberg. Isn't that your David or whatever?" So I gave it a look, and I don't know. It's a strange movie. What I remember is that it's about there's a society, and there's a market for catching illnesses that celebrities gain, and I don't know, I didn't get very far into it. It was that would seem more out there than Possessor. So, again, I'll have to take another look at it, but it was just stranger than strange at the time.
Oh, here's one. On the same note as the visuals, like, are they too out there, too over the top? Or are they, like, does it make sense that it belongs in the movie? How do you feel about the violence? It feels gratuitous. Like, I was laughing when that dude's getting his face beaten in and his teeth popped out. I was like...
God, dude.
I was cracking up because it's so excessive. I was like, whoa.
I was more uncomfortable. Like, that whole scene was like him being killed, then like him going after the daughter. I was like, this is making me actually kind of uncomfortable because of how brutal, and like there's like no emotion behind it. It's simply just, this is a job.
Yes.
And I have to go through with it. It was actually pretty nasty.
Tough to watch.
It was, honestly, and I don't really have that reaction to like violence in films, but those moments specifically, I was like, oof, that's dark.
I love the violence in this movie, because it goes back to the writing. Voss says she wants to make it look more in character when the opportunity comes about. So yeah, that first kill, just like a waitress that went mad all of a sudden. I was seeing it as like she was using Tate's status to her advantage and whatnot, because he's a lowly worker. He's looked down upon by Sean Bean's character. Sean
Big
Bean
corp.
is really scuzzy in this movie. This is one of my favorite roles he's done.
He looks
I love
fucking
it.
weird without a beard, dude. He looks
No,
super
Dude, no,
weird
you know
without
what
a
makes him
beard.
look weird? Watching him vape. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
okay,
my
so
God.
that was
There's a lot of
that was
vaping in
something.
this.
What the fuck was up with that? Why was there so much?
Dude.
Ryan, I feel like you would know what was up with all the vaping. What is the symbolism behind it?
So it's not so much symbolism as it's Brandon Cronenberg's prediction of the future. He says that in an interview, he says that it's going to be comical how much people are vaping in like the next 10 years. That's like his prediction of the future. It's just comical. Just
It made me want to vape, dude.
That's what I figured.
That was a
too.
cigarette's job too.
Yeah, that's what I figure. Because like you see the old sci-fi movies, all these professional types, they're smoking cigarettes by the crate load and whatnot. Why this one's vaping? They're vaping by the crate load now.
It's just
the
there's
progression.
nothing menacing about a fucking vape though.
There is,
Especially these big old like like there's nothing menacing because like all the douchebags that drive like the big lifted trucks and like wear Monster merch, like they all have the big mods and they're like it's like
dragon coming in.
it's like and then were they like thugs that were following him towards the end of the second act?
oh,
I don't know.
so
Do you remember that?
I really think like this is just speculation. I really think that was his own paranoia getting to him. Because the next scene, he thinks he's surrounded by people, and there's just like a group of people around him, but they aren't. They're like totally oblivious to him. I feel like it's that, but that's just like speculation.
That's cool.
I thought maybe it was like servicemen from Sean Bean's characters. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
or
was
something.
thinking too.
But also too, it could just be the paranoia. That would make total sense as well.
What if it's the company though that Voss works for? Like I didn't think about
That's
that.
what that could be it too. Yeah.
Were you
But
think- yeah.
Well, just to get back, I was on about the violence and whatnot. It does go back to the writing. She wants to make it look in character, so she was going to use Tate's status to her advantage. A lowly data miner working for a guy that really doesn't care about him in the slightest, just sees him as this lowly former drug dealer that would not have a future had he not shown a little bit of sympathy and giving him a job at his company. I think the violence is well earned in this one.
Wait, former drug dealer.
But
He
why
was a
did
former
she
drug dealer?
like get so sadistic about it? Like
Yeah,
She
that didn't
went
seem
off.
a character at all.
No. Yeah.
Well,
It's like
I
the only
don't know.
motivation he has essentially is gets in a fight and is like, I'm gonna just brutally murder.
I'm gonna
you,
beat this
dude."
guy with a fucking wood poker.
Like I've gotten mad at my bosses before. I'm like, screw you,
Some-
capitalism.
well,
But,
some
like,
people, some
so,
people
like-
hold in all that seething rage.
No,
and they
that's
just
true.
Go
I mean-
postal one day.
there's definitely a perspective on it.
See, I like that. It's up for that kind of interpretation. That's my favorite old school horror, is when it's ambiguous and not pretentious. It's more like a John Carpenter movie than a Robert Eggers movie.
Here we go.
I don't
nothing
know
on
about
Eggers.
that at
John-
all.
John
Nothing on
Carpenter.
Eggers.
Here we
I don't
go.
know about that one at all.
What'd you do?
No,
I
no,
think
no,
that
no,
was
it's-
way off.
That was
Fine,
a-
Ari
that
Aster.
was- That was a reach.
Oh,
Oh.
I think that was way off too.
I'm out.
Okay, well, here the point is like two different eras of filmmaking and whatnot.
For sure. Yeah, he definitely captures like older sci-fi and like an older mentality. But I mean, then Chase just drops the bomb that the dude's like in his 90s, and I'm like, what?
I thought he
He
was
doesn't
like
look that old.
I thought he was like in his late 20s, dude. I wasn't expecting him
I
to be
did
40
too.
fucking
He looks
years
like
old.
He's only like
He looks 30.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old he was.
He's 41 years
Deceiving.
old, dude. Jesus.
He's only got like 5 more years left to make a movie.
Yeah, someone getting his AARP card. Fuck.
Hey, if Clint
He was
Eastwood
born in the
can keep making
1930s.
movies
I
in
mean,
his
dude,
mid-80s.
come on. He saw the first movies. That's crazy.
Yeah. The train, you know that train one, and everyone freaked out in the movie theater.
He screamed and everything. He thought it was real.
What's your favorite movie of all
So
time?
funny.
Oh, The Great Train Robbery, obviously.
Yeah, the one where the train comes towards the screen.
Obviously.
That was my favorite one.
Frankenstein by Thomas Edison.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God, what else is there? The music, pretty
Music good.
effective. Pretty
I don't
effective.
remember
drone.
it, honestly.
It was pretty drony, pretty typical. But
Was it?
he did also the Raw soundtrack as well. The Raw, that French film Raw. It's good. It's a good score.
Is
Both
that the
of
one
those,
about a vegan who goes to cannibalism?
basically.
That's not vegan.
No, it isn't.
People aren't vegan.
No. We're hardy.
People have faces. That's what veganism is. You don't eat things with a face.
Yeah. We're hardy. We're filling. We have protein.
But Ryan, you didn't remember the music at all?
Not really. I remember there being like you're saying, droney music and like wobbly sounds, but like I really don't remember much of it.
Wobbly.
beyond that.
It's mostly just like texture. It's not really
Yeah,
like to
it's-
stand out.
It's atmosphere-y.
Yeah. Like it can be done really well, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
That's the problem with all
Yeah.
of that drone score stuff. It's like this sounds really cool. The only one I can think of recent that I'm like I remember that track is like Mandy, where it's like super droney, but it's like
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah,
love
that's good.
Manny. That's another great Andrea Riceborough star-in genre movie. And
Yeah.
also, the lighting in this movie reminded me a lot of that. I forgot to mention the
Really?
way they use practical lens flares and really saturate the colors at points. It reminded me a lot of that.
That's what I want to do with my film and shit. Is I love color, and like
hell yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like super desaturated shit. It makes me want to sleep. And so like that's why one of my favorite movies of all time is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, is because it's so fucking
dude.
bright. It is
That makes
so
sense.
bright. And also, one of these days I want us to sit and talk about Willy Wonka, because I feel like there's a deep underlying message that I just can't figure out, and I need other brains to help me with it.
We could do that. I like that.
Because
Pick it
I am
sometime.
obsessed with it, but I just don't know. I don't know what the fuck what it means. I don't know what the movie means.
Fascism.
How about it's just
It's
an
always
innocent
fascism.
movie where kids get invited to a magical land of
That
sweets
it can't.
and
Is there?
candy.
It literally can't just be that. I will not rest until I figure out that it means
No,
something
it's gotta
else.
be more.
It's gotta be
Every
something.
movie has something else.
And then we can watch the
it
sequel,
does, like,
Snowpiercer.
honestly, with how creepy the chocolate owner dude is, Willy Wonka, it like there has to be. There has to be.
That's
there
what I'm saying.
has to be a reason. The Oompa Loompas are weird. There has to be a reason that Willy Wonka himself is like just sadistic and weird. There has to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to figure it out so bad. But the color in this is not anything similar to Willy Wonka at all. But there's the lighting and the color in this is specifically the I love when movies do deep red, and I think and it reminds me of like 2001, where during the shutdown scene where it's just like the blacks are like black and then the reds are super vibrant, and that scene where where Eddie is making sure that everything's up to par with Voss, and then we see her walk in, or no, it's not her, it's
him.
it's him.
Tate.
It's Tate, and he's like strangling her, and the cuts between the cameras in the same spot, and it's just cutting between that. Oh, it was
And
beautiful.
that red is
That's what I'm
is great.
talking about.
The red is incredible, and then that's when he takes her face off and like puts it on as a mask.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man,
such
that-
a cool
that shit's
visual.
so
Oh, I
cool.
love that.
Yeah. Oh man, that mask is so creepy.
I didn't
wonder
really
it's
see
the-
the. Sorry. Go on, Nick.
No, I was just saying the mask is creepy. No wonder it's the poster art.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see the point though of showing like moments previous with the mask on. I felt like that was kind of
He's tapping
unnecessary.
into her memories.
Yeah,
He's-
that's how I picked it up too.
he is coming
Yeah.
to terms that there's another person running around in his body.
and that he's the one.
Got it,
that,
because
and,
it was such a
yeah,
climatic moment too.
absolutely, and that he may have not physically done these things, or he may have not mentally done these things, but he did do them physically. You know,
God,
Right.
so
if Christopher Abbott doesn't get a shitload of roles after the virus is put
yeah,
in
dude,
jail.
he did fantastic. This was so
Yeah.
he was so good.
Yeah. Oh, my other favorite part was the first debriefing scene with Voz and Girder. Jennifer Jason Leigh, she also does a great job in this movie. But just, I love how understated that part is. You may not like the camera work or anything like that, but the performances and the writing
No,
in that
I agree.
section,
I think it's
wicked.
great.
I love how
She plays
understated
the same
it is.
character and everything.
Yeah, she does.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
There's something about her performance in every movie I've seen. I can't describe it. It's kind of quirky, kind of like
Really?
very
The Hateful
subtle.
Eight is the same as this movie?
It's the way she speaks.
She's the
she
same.
doesn't-
The thing is, it's the same character essentially she played in Uncut Gems,
but,
or not Uncut Gems.
but
Sorry,
like,
but in Good Times.
Good Time?
Yeah,
I think she's really good. She's very naturalistic.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's a side thing.
What vape are you smoking, man? No, again, the understatement and the subtle world building, their whole procedure for making sure the agent is back in their body and has control again. Love it. I was drawn into that. I wish they could just have a conversation like that for the whole runtime, and I would still be amazed.
yeah, yeah. Shit's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Shit's dope.
Shit's dope.
Shit's fucking dope.
At the end of the day, shit's dope.
I will say, at the it's in the third act somewhere when the dude is like in control of his body again, and he returns to her house based off of her memories.
Yeah.
I really thought that was her thinking she was herself again and trying to go back home. If they did that, my mind would have lost it. The suspense when I thought he was going to get to the door and be her and be like, "Hey, I'm home. What's for dinner?" I was like, if they do this, I'm going to freak out.
And then fucking Michael's just like, who the fuck are you? that scene where
Yeah.
he's on the table, where Michael's on the table and he's got the gun and he's like yelling to Voss in his own brain.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You don't think I'll fucking do it?" Like blah blah blah, like I'll fucking do it. Like, you know, that shit was intense. That was intense.
That was really intense.
Nick is
I like
frozen.
the ending. The ending's
He's become Possessor.
it is.
You gotta take a screenshot of
next
that and use it
Possessor.
against him. Yeah, exactly.
Nick's being spooky.
Oh god,
Yeah.
spooky
What do you
Nick
guys
vibes
think
are never
of
the
the ending?
best. I wanted to see a little more of. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. I wanted the ending to feel kind of similar to the ending of Annihilation. Have you guys seen Annihilation yet?
Yes.
So you know how like there's ambiguous. I mean, it's not really ambiguous at all. But like at a certain point, there's like, ooh, is she not? And then, you know, yeah, I would have liked to see like, okay, maybe this dude is in her brain and like has now become her. You know what I mean?
Yes, that I think would have been a really interesting way to write the ending of the movie, because it
Right,
feels
wouldn't that have been
very like, I really do like the ending where it's just like she's on the table looking at basically her killer, which was her son or whatever.
Yeah.
And just the impact of knowing like he just blew his brains out as your own kid and like all of this stuff. That's
Exactly.
super impactful, but like I just feel like rushed is the wrong word, but I can't think of a better one to use.
Yeah, I would have wanted her to be more upset at the other lady, because she essentially linked into her child without her permission and got her child killed. Like she couldn't have. Like, why couldn't she have chose her husband? You know, like, why did you have to do this to a fucking like 8-year-old child? Like that's kind of intense, dude. That seems.
That's what I thought was weird.
Yeah, that seemed a little more unnecessary
That's a good point.
than anything else in the movie.
Because then, like, too, they just do that whole like routine, like, what is this object? What is it? And it's like the same as the beginning. Like nothing's really changed. She knows what all these objects are, which maybe there's something more to that.
Yeah.
But like from a emotional standpoint, it feels a little weird. I don't know how to describe it. Doesn't feel like the
Yeah, I can't describe it either. I don't know what it is, but there's something there that's like missing or not like feeling like fully fleshed out, and I'm not sure what it is though.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't dislike the ending at all. Like, it's not like I'm like unsatisfied.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's
Yeah.
there's like a little bit that is not as fleshed out as the rest of the movie is, which the movie is incredibly planned out, and I think it's very obvious that you know, Cronenberg did a lot of planning on this movie, pre-planning to make it work right. And it's just a testament to show, like, in your writing process, if you write everything and plot everything out, your movie will be successful. And it's just, you know, it's like that. I just feel like this little bit was just not, you know, and there has to be some significance to the butterfly at the end. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. I kind of wanted her to bring back up the little.
What's the definition of the butterfly effect?
When you doing something in the present affects the future or some shit like that. Or let's see. Actually, let's look it up. Butterfly effect.
I mean, is it like the representation of like the cocoon stage and leaving that to something else, and it's the idea of like leaving a body into another one, maybe? I don't know.
No, so it's more of like a what you do something on one plane and it affects something on another plane. So it's like a flap of a butterfly's wing could affect like an earthquake or some shit like that. But
so like killing someone's like almost relatives in their life will have reverbs and kill your family. So
yes,
I mean, that makes sense if that's what it is.
Something similar. Yeah. That would make sense.
I also saw too, like, because it seems like there's really no protagonist at all in this film.
No.
And it
other
seems
than,
like
I think actually other than Abbott's character, I think he would be the main protagonist, I would say.
Right, because like with Voss, it's like she's just doing her job,
yeah,
and it's essentially the corporation that's controlling her to destroy others' lives.
Yeah, she's a killer.
And
like,
it's like,
up.
yeah, but it's because of her work. It's like ruining her life, ruining others. It's like, I don't know. It's interesting. So like that ending makes a bit more sense, but I don't know. I mean, did you guys have any other final thoughts you wanted to say about Possessor?
I think I'm good.
I feel like I talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nick we're gonna have to, in post, we'll put in Nick's final thoughts. He's having technical issues, so that's it. That's that. Ryan, do you want to lead us off with your final thoughts and rating?
Yeah. I really like this movie. I'm a huge Cronenberg fan, and this embodies like the Cronenberg style in a more of a modern take of it, and it really connected with me. I like it. Out of 5, either probably a 4. I want to go 4.5, but there's just a few things that just I was like, I know, but yeah, I'll give it a 4. I really like it. I really think it's like the modern voice of Cronenberg. It's just Brandon Cronenberg is so much like his dad in terms of filmmaking. I'm very happy that we have another Cronenberg making movies. It's good.
Only 5 more years left, though.
Word. Yeah. Shit. As soon as he hits 45, he's done.
As soon as you hit 45, that's like, yeah, like you were saying, AARP card and
yeah, exactly.
over.
Senior fucking citizen.
1 foot in the grave, man.
Pick out your tombstones and your fucking
Start getting those cremation advertisements in the mail now.
Exactly. Planning on dying soon? Here you go. But so I would I think I agree with you, Ryan. I think I'm going 4 as well. Again, I also want to give it 4.5, but I feel like there is little things like it's stupid of me, but sound effect, there's a little lacking in the sound department. I think some of the like stabs and the hits and everything could have been way more crunchy and guttural, and I think it would have been more effective in that way. And then some of the camera work is noticeable, and I don't think that is a good thing for a movie like this. And the ending is just a little not there yet. So, but other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The practical effects are insane. The acting is top notch. The script is pretty cool. I'm a big sci-fi fan, and this is like itching that kind of sci-fi horror itch. And yeah, I'm fully committed to my 4 rating. I want to give it a 1 because Sean Bean doesn't die, but I think I'll bite the bullet and give it a 4.
This is gonna seem really low, but I'm gonna have to give it a 3, I think, which is weird because there's so much about it I like, and I love this like lo-fi kind of cyberpunk-ish thing going on. Yeah, I don't know. All I can really sum it up with is that like the story itself, or sorry, the story is very interesting. I love the idea, but I honestly think it could have been, in my opinion, a bit more impactful for me if it was like a short film, because like this seems like it could also be a short film, like a 20-minute thing.
Yeah.
But dragged out to an hour and 40 minutes. I don't know. There was just like a lot of downtime. I don't know. I'm really conflicted on one because there's so much cool stuff about it.
Well, why don't you meet in the middle and give it a 3.5?
I mean, I could go 3.5 too, but when I finished it, it was like, that's it.
That's it.
I don't know.
Understood.
But there's a lot going on. I don't know, man.
I get it.
I'm glad I watched it though. I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, me too. Fuck.
This movie is a 4.5. It can be a little slow pacing. It can be a little bit slow paced. It's kind of, and it is a little bit alienating. But for me, I attached to it pretty great. It's got phenomenal acting. The special effects are very well done and nicely throwback. The concepts it touches upon, there's a lot to dig in there. It's ripe with what's the word? Dissecting and diving into. It was just right up my alley. I was taken to it right away.
Anyway, thank you.
And that's
thank you guys.
first episode.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna be doing
2021.
I'm gonna be doing the outro. Ryan, thank you so much for suggesting this. This is a fantastic suggestion.
Thank you, boys, for suggesting I pick a movie for this
absolutely.
one.
Do we know who's going next? Victor, you fucking sly dog! I'm so excited to see what you throw at us next week.
Oh,
Don't pick anything stupid.
Oh, please pick something stupid.
Oh, I'll pick something stupid, especially for you.
I want to watch that. Can we watch that one burger movie again?
Fuck no, I'm not watching that
Banjo
again.
Gyro?
Banjo Gyro.
No.
We'll do a triple feature of just Banjo.
Just
yeah.
tell one
I'm
of
not
us that
watching
we're
it.
watching that one. The rest of us will watch the proper movie, but one of us will be watching that one again.
Yeah, just it'll be
That's an
surprise you.
idea.
That's actually super funny. Like an April Fool's Day prank is one. Like we all end up doing different movies and just talking about it. That's a funny episode, dude.
That would be.
We all just end up talking about the different movie. We're like, yeah, like my Frankie Muniz prank that you guys all fell for. You guys,
which one
my
was that?
Frankie Muniz prank that I said Frankie Muniz was in fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were just being dumb there.
No, I knew that fucking Frankie Muniz wasn't in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
I'm just happy Ryan loved a movie that I told him about. I knew he was gonna like. So
nice. Yeah.
good job, Ryan.
But anyway, again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you pound that motherfucking like button. I'm just kidding.
Please, God.
No,
no.
we
No,
got
yeah.
pounded.
If you're gonna,
No,
if you're gonna
just-
tap it, you might as well fucking tap it.
Just click it and don't acknowledge it.
No, please click it
And,
and acknowledge it. Give us all the
Please
love.
don't listen to Nick.
Yeah.
What?
He's a traitor. He's a red traitor.
If you get
I just don't want us to be pompous, pretentious, fake YouTubers.
If you get us to 100 likes, I'll buy Ryan a fucking router. We got
And we're kicking him out. Well, no,
Good
a better
looks.
router would be great.
All right. Again, thanks for watching. Check for us on Spotify. Check for us on YouTube. Thank you, everyone. I'm Chase Biddle.
I'm Victor Martin.
You know who I am.
All right,
I'm
goodbye.
Ryan.
See ya.